end of another week. Yes, it's Friday the 3rd of December 2021. Greetings, gang, and welcome to today's little chat show. I was a little bit busy last night, so I didn't do a show, as you may well have noticed. Christmas telly. Yes, we get to find out what's on the BBC this year. It's just a sad shadow of what it used to be, though, I feel. Really, Christmas television. What do you think? Do you think it's a bit of a sad... And this has been getting worse over the last few years. I managed to pull up the schedules for Christmas Day and Boxing Day on BBC One, and there we go. I mean, is there anything that sort of appeals to you there? I don't know. Top of the Pops, I mean, that's on too early, isn't it? 5 to 12. Used to have that on at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Inner Workings, well, I've no idea what that is. Early Man... What's that? That doesn't sound very Christmassy to me. Zog and the Flying Doctors. Don't know what that is. Well, the Queen's still there at 3 o'clock. At least we've still got something there, haven't we? Coco? What's Coco? Don't know. Strictly Come Dancing Christmas Special. Well, I guess that would be popular for a lot of people. I know a lot of you like the old Strictly Come Dancing. Michael McIntyre's Christmas Wheel. Yes, happy with that one. Blankety Blank Christmas Special. Happy with that one. Call the Midwife. Again, not really Christmassy, is it? We always had EastEnders on Christmas Day, didn't we? And then Mrs. Brown's Christmas Special. And it's just... Well, okay, yeah, fine. There's nothing that actually there's actually nothing there that makes me want to sit there, not any of those programmes, to be honest, and watch the telly. The last programme to do that was about 6 or 7 years ago when they did a one-off Christmas special of To the Manor Born. Remember that? Oh, da 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 da. That one with Marjorie and the bloke with a moustache. That's the last time I really wanted to sit down and watch the telly on Christmas Day. I mean, Doctor Who kind of did it as well, but it's a bit wishy-washy, really. And I was on a forum. I go on these geeky forums about old television and all that sort of thing. And the BBC always wiped the slate with their Christmas Day programmes in the 70s, in the 80s, even in the 90s. And then it's just gone down. And there's nothing exciting or particularly Christmassy about any of it. Now, I've got here... There wasn't actually a slide like I just showed you there of Christmas Day. I pulled out, it's a few years ago, all right. I pulled out the BBC One Christmas Day schedule for Christmas Day 1977. So here we go, starting at 11:40 in the morning. National Velvet, that lovely thing about horses. Yep, we would have watched that. Are You Being Served? At 20 to 2 in the afternoon. Now, of course, I believe every single one of those people are now passed to another life. How sad is that? Eh? It was a wonderful, warm programme that we just used to howl at. So that was on at 20 to 2 in the afternoon. And then we had the Queen at 3. No mention here of... Oh, there it is. Top of the Pops. There it is. Top of the Pops was on at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. All right. 10 past 2 it says there. 10 past 2 in the afternoon. Top of the Pops. The Queen, of course, at 3 o'clock, and she is still on at 3 o'clock. Whether or not she'd be on the BBC this year, I don't know. Because they're not happy. The Palace are not happy with the BBC. They really aren't. Mind you, a lot of people aren't. I think it's a really terrible shadow of what it was. Billy Smart's Christmas Circus. That would have been on at 10 past 3, it says here. Now, that probably wouldn't have interested me, to be honest. Do I remember sitting there watching that? Yeah, we must have done. Because that telly went on in the morning and never went off until everyone went to bed. That's how good it was in those days. 10 past 4, The Wizard of Oz. Of course, it's been on so many times now. You couldn't put that on BBC One on a Christmas Day, but something to replace that, perhaps. You know, what? I don't know. Family stuff. Basil Through the Looking Glass. Basil Brush. He was on at 10 to 6. And then here we go. After the evening news, this was the big thing. Now, interestingly enough, they did a Songs of Praise. A Songs of Praise at 6:25. I don't remember. I remember a Christmas morning service, don't you? They used to have the midnight mass on Christmas Eve, and then they would have a Christmas morning service in the morning. I don't actually remember being a Songs of Praise in the evening on Christmas night, but there it is in the schedule. But here we go. Here's and the cannons come out. The BBC cannons used to come out. 7:15 p.m. Bruce Forsyth and the Generation Game. Okay, 8:20, the Mike Yarwood Christmas show. Right, 5 to 9, the Morecambe and Wise show, and then at 10:05 they had a film, Funny Girl. Barbara Streisand? I think yeah, Barbara Streisand. She was on then. You wouldn't move from the telly at night, would you? Interestingly enough, no mention of the two Ronnies then. Perhaps they came along a little bit later. But Mike Yarwood, do you remember him? What a great man he was. I saw him doing an interview a few years ago, actually, on the telly. It was incredibly sad. And he was saying, I still do this. If anyone wants to give me a job. And he was like, it's horrible when the spotlight moves off you. It's happened to me, on the gay DJing scene. You get the spotlight. Doesn't mean you're the only one in the spotlight, but the spotlight is kind of on you, and you go for so many years, and that's it. And then it moves, and then that's it. That's it. It's gone. It's gone. You have to find something else. You might get it back if you reinvent yourself, really. But once it's moved, and it moves for everyone, whether you're piddly little DJ like me or internationally famous, great UK television star like Mike Yarwood. Once it moves, it moves. You've got to be really lucky for it not to move at all. I don't think it ever moved off Bruce Forsyth, for example, or Terry Wogan. People like that. They keep it right to the end of their lives. But I think most people kind of lose it a little bit, don't they? Eh? Anyway, what do you think of the old Christmas stuff? What do you remember mostly about Christmas? Perhaps there's a particular year that you remember Christmas. I mean, I've got the Boxing Day schedule as well. We looked at the Christmas Day one. This is this year. Here's the Boxing Day schedule this year. I mean, is anything there that makes you want to watch the telly? I mean, well, Skip, I mean, there's a football at 3:15, which my dad would have had on that. I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have had. But I'm not being funny. I mean, 5 o'clock, Grease. Really? Really? On Boxing Day, you're showing that really old film? I mean, it's hideous, that. And then 7:15, The Repair Shop at Christmas. 8:15, The Great British Sewing Bee Christmas Special. The only thing there that I can see of interest for myself personally, and what do you think, is Dunkirk at 9:05, which I went to see at the cinema. It's a really good film. It's got that pretty boy band star from One Direction. Why his name's gone right out of my head. Why does that happen? Harry Styles. He's not got a massive part in it, but it's the music that will get you. The music is amazing. You want your bass speakers up and put that sound right up. Dunkirk, Boxing Day. But honestly, apart from that, how pathetic is that? Look at it. Grease. Really? And I bet they show some disclaimer at the front saying there are certain things in this that might offend some people. Hopeless. Do you remember a Christmas time when you were a child? I mean, you're probably younger than me. When was your childhood? 1990s, perhaps? What was your Christmas Day television there? Let me know. Put a comment under there, or you can send in an email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. But quite apart from the programmes on the telly at Christmas, I always like the bits in between the programmes. I'm a bit of a geek like that. Do excuse me. As you know, I've got acid coming up. I had this yesterday as well. I think it's all to do with the overeating of bread, to be honest. Terrible acid coming up at the moment. And yes, I like the bits in between the programmes as well. Sorry, let me just go back a bit. So we're talking about the BBC there. ITV really never had a run-in at all with Christmas, did they? I mean, they tried. Oh, God, they tried, I think, in the 70s and the 80s. But they kind of gave up. They kind of gave up, and a Christmas Day now on ITV is almost like any other day. Look, I haven't even looked, to be honest. Let me see if I can find it. ITV Christmas Day schedule 2021. Here we go. Let's have a little look there. I'm sure what's his name will be on there. No, that's not it. 1 minute. ITV Christmas Day. Christmas Day shake up. Okay. Do we have a schedule? Here we go. No, not really. Where's the ITV schedule Christmas Day? What's that? The Northern Echo or something? Christmas Day. Darlington Express. Which one shall we look up? It's only got highlights here, you see. No, I can't find it now. ITV Christmas Day schedule. I mean, they gave up years ago with it, didn't they? Digital Spy. Let's try that one. Oh, ITV. Radio Times. They'll have it, won't they? No. I haven't got it either. Cool. How can it be different? How can it be so hard to find that when I could find the BBC one like that? Well, I'll try one more. Digital Spy. Let's try that one. No, well, we can't comment then. There's Paul O'Grady for the Love of Dogs. The Masked Sing-Along. Christmas Day. Bradley Walsh, The Larkins Christmas Special. No, it's just... Well, that does look... I must admit, that does look a little bit different to what it used to on Christmas Day on ITV. But you'd often, over the years, it just looked like a normal day with Christmas adverts in the middle of it. It's sad. It's sad. It's really sad. I remember the old people that used to appear in between the programmes on ITV at Christmas, and they'd have some sort of Christmas tree behind them. My friend Tom Edwards would have had a Christmas tree behind him, or indeed on his head. I'm sure he was involved in decorating the studio around the Christmas time. And I also like the little bits in between the programmes, you know, the BBC Christmas Idents, which have got earlier and earlier over the years. They're probably showing them now, actually. I haven't really seen BBC television over the last few days. But I guess they've got their Christmas Idents up now, which I don't look like. I do have a favourite from years gone by, Christmas BBC One ident, and this is it from 1977. I think this is 77, 76, 75. There you go. That was my favourite Christmas BBC One ident of all time. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that pretty? Don't you like that? It's good how they've done that, isn't that? And it's a model, you know, obviously not a computer picture or anything. That thing actually existed. I bet someone's got... I wonder who's got that. Someone will have that, won't they, eh? Anyway, what do you think of the Christmas telly? And what do you remember that was good about Christmas telly? Perhaps there's something there that you like. Let us know in the comments section, just underneath there, or send an email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. The other thing we've been talking about on the radio show this week is some charming films. And charming family type films. And one that I watched on Wednesday was Whistle Down the Wind, which is a film made in 1961. We've talked about this already on the radio show, but I know you don't all listen to that. And it's about this group of children and this man, criminal. I'm not quite sure what he's done, whether he's murdered someone or burgled something. Anyway, and he seeks refuge in this shed, and the children find him, and they think he's Jesus. And all these children keep coming, and eventually is taken away, and it's just as you're in tears. Old black and white film, Whistle Down the Wind. The Railway Children is another one, and again I mentioned this on yesterday's radio show, that we are getting a sequel after 50 years. We are getting a sequel. The Railway Children, The Return, and Jenny Agutter's in it, much older, playing herself, playing the girl as she was then. She's the same person in the film, but many years have passed, of course. The Radio Times reports the Railway Children Return has recently wrapped production and will arrive in cinemas. We're looking at the 1st of April 2022, so next year, which I think they've missed they've missed something there. They should have had that out for Christmas. Whether this Christmas, if they could have, probably not because of the COVID thing, whether this Christmas or held it back for next Christmas, I think they missed an opportunity there. I think they would have got more interest. Or maybe the BBC has had some involvement in this and they're getting it out in the cinema in April, and we will get that on the telly next Christmas. But that's certainly the sort of thing I want to see on the telly at Christmas, isn't it, you? Do you remember the original Railway Children? That haunting melody. La da 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 da. That one. You can look it up on YouTube and you can find the melody. Anyway, it says production has wrapped on the upcoming sequel to The Railway Children, and a new first look image from the film has been released. And me being so stupid, I haven't put it on the screen here for you. Let's just take a picture of it and I can show it to you, sweetheart. It's all right. I'll have a quick look here. Do you remember The Railway Children? I was talking to... Who was I talking to? Danny, my friend Danny Davis, and he really doesn't like it, but... You know, each and every one to their own, I suppose. Here we go. Oh, it's a bit blurry, this, I'm afraid. You get the general idea. There you go. I mean, you can see from there what sort of film it's like. Can you? You can see Jenny Agutter just on this side. There she is. There she is, and all the children with her. I can't wait. Can't wait. And I know I'm going to be sitting in that cinema with a box of blooming tissues. It says the sequel, which comes more than 50 years after the original film, was announced in May, with Jenny Agutter set to reprise her role as Roberta Bobby Waterbury, alongside turns from Sheridan Smith, Tom Courtenay, and a new generation of Railway Children. And I'm just astounded by that. So there's two films there. Real family films. Whistle Down the Wind, of course, as I say, is in black and white, 1961. I think young people would have a problem watching that. There are people out there now, as you well know, who have never seen a black and white telly. So I don't know how they would respond to seeing a black and white film in its entirety. That being said, you can watch it on YouTube, incidentally, gang. Just type in Whistle Down the Wind and it's there, okay, in very good quality, high definition. Yeah, I don't know who's copied that and put it on there, but it's one of the best looking copies I've ever seen of it, to be honest, all right? But it's in black and white. And I don't know if children could sit down there and watch it. I mean, you remember Casey Jones, the TV series Casey Jones about the train and the Cannonball Express? Well, I've got some of those on DVD, right? And I took them round. No, I didn't. Sorry, they're on YouTube. And I was around my nephew's house some months ago now. And I said to get great nephew Harry, who's 7, I said, see what you think of this, and I put it on. He said, this is boring, Chris. He was bored. Didn't like it at all. You know, younger people, sadly, have such a short attention span now. They can't sit there and enjoy a whole story. Both him and great niece Evie, they've got that remote control there, and they'll watch 30 seconds of a YouTube video, and then they're looking for the next one. You know, you're sitting, it's ever so annoying, and it's not their fault, it's just how they are. You know, you're sitting there watching a telly, and halfway through it, bang, up comes the menu, and they're looking for something else to watch. Usually something that we've seen about 200 blooming times, like people dropping things from, Harry likes that. These group of lads, I think they're Australian, I'm not quite sure now, but they go up this big tower, climb up this tower, and they drop things and film themselves doing it. He loves it. Doesn't like Casey Jones. Steaming and a rolling, Casey Jones, you never have to guess. When you hear the tooting of the whistle, it's Casey at the throttle of the Cannonball Express. Woo, woo! Suppose they're all gone there, aren't they, eh? All right, any other family films that you can think of that I'm sure you think of loads? Sound of Music, there's another one. Wizard of Oz, we've mentioned that. What other family films do you really like? Stick them in a comment under there, because I'll be looking for something to watch. Okay, stick them in a comment there, or you can send an email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Not Disney. Don't include Disney on this one, because they're all family films, aren't they? Little Mermaid, Dumbo, Snow White. I'm wishing for the one you love. Noddy, not Noddy, what's the one with the long nose? Pinocchio. I could be a Pinocchio, couldn't I? Pinocchio. Any other films, family films that you can think of? Not Disney ones. Stick them under there. We don't want any rude stuff in there and no swearing. Stuff that you could sit there watching with children, you know. Because let's be honest, it's hard to find anything these days, you know, with no swearing in it. All right. Couple of messages from you today. Chris Lotz. Hello, Chris. I'm very sorry, Chris. I missed this out on 2 shows. I've missed this. I've just gone back down there and thought, I haven't read this out yet. So sorry to Chris, who's in the USA. And Chris says, on the subject of Monday's show, I'm not sure what it was, but something about your Monday's show was really good. First, you started out like good old Chris, totally off the rails. Totally off the rails, which is always the best. But then you told the church story, and he said, full disclosure, I'm not a religious person. The only time I'm ever in church is because of a wedding or a funeral. Let's hope we don't have one of those soon. Both as bad as each other. But the food's okay, isn't it, Chris? Oh, yes, dear. We do like a free buffet. Crisps, some vol au vents, some little sausage rolls, cheese and pineapples on sticks. By the way, at these weddings, you know, when they do the buffet, do you get vegetarian sausages now? I suppose you do. When I used to DJ at weddings in the 1980s, I had a plate full, dear. Bits of ham and, bits of roast beef. Oh, it was wonderful, dear. The wedding and the funeral buffets, dear. Wonderful, wonderful. He says, something about your story, the way you told it. This is the church story, remember? I went into my local church, just went there instead. I haven't been there for years. And basically, it turns out they haven't got an organist. And he said, are you free? And where I have been playing the organ, we have 3 or 4 organists. And I said, well, yeah, I can do. And so I do that on this Sunday, actually, 10:30 Mass. 10:30 Mass this Sunday. It actually works better for me than the other one, really, because I don't have such a long cycle. I don't mind a long bike ride. The problem is the road that I usually cycle on is now closed. They're building houses either side of it, and they've actually closed the road, which means I have a slightly longer journey, not too much of a problem, but it's a fast, narrow road with bends. And it frightens me being on the road, you see. Frightens me being on that road. So by going to my own local church, which is about just 20 minutes away from a bike ride instead of 40 on the other one, but it's all cycle paths. I don't go on a road, end off. I cross a couple of roads, but I don't go on... Well, actually, I don't even need to cross roads. Got underpasses. Just use the underpasses. I don't actually need to go on a road. So it's a bit safe as well. I mean, I say safe. Unless I lock my brakes somewhere and go flying over the handlebars, or perhaps I could do a wheelie on the way to church. I could turn up outside doing a wheelie on my bike. Anyway, let me just go back a little bit here. Something about your story, the way you told it about the church and how the random chance visit to one of your old churches now has a purpose, even if that purpose only lasts for a short time and doesn't work out. It's still really amazing to see how things happen around us, especially when we aren't looking for anything. Thank you for another great show. Thank you very much, Chris. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yes, it's odd, isn't it? And what you say there, it may only last a short time or doesn't work out. You know, it's funny you should say that, Chris, because whenever I take a little job like that, I always make a point of, and I told them at the time, and there's been a couple of emails going backwards and forwards now, and on both occasions I've put, well, but let's see how it goes this week. If you decide it doesn't really work, or perhaps I do, then that's no problem at all. That's fine. Just let me know, and that's fine as well. Won't be a problem, you know. Also, the only reason I'm doing it is because the chap who was doing it, his name's John, won't have the vaccinations. He's one of these people who's a bit worried about what's in vaccinations, which means he's keeping away from everyone. He's done it for years. I thought it was his life, really, but apparently not so much. And if he wanted to go back, again, I put that in the mail. I said, that's no problem at all. I can either go back there, or I also happen to know that they don't have anyone at the 8:30 Mass in the morning. or is it the 9 o'clock? 9 o'clock or 8:30, I think it is. And I could kind of slip back to that and offer my services for that, or go back to where I am. Doesn't matter really. But I always stick in there like a little opt out, so it's no problem. And really, it isn't. It isn't. I like to do it, but remember, I don't read music. Sometimes I rely. Musicians will understand this. Sometimes I rely on a keyboard. They do have a transpose button. Now, what is a transpose button? That basically, whatever key you're playing in, you can move it up or down X number. Now, the best organ I've found of this one is at the one in Roehampton in St. Joseph's, where you can go up 4 or down 4. That's really good, right? The one in Wokingham will only go up 1. That's it. Won't go down, only up 1. The one in Bracknell won't go up or down at all. So I've got to try and play any hymns, palms or anything, psalms or anything like that. I've got to try and play them in the key they're written in or very close to it. Because if you go too high, the singers can't reach the notes. And again, if you go too low, similarly, it's difficult to sing, sing like that, the blokes will be all right. Usually, I do tend to play one down to what it's written in, because I find that hymns are written in quite a high key for the blokes. It's all right for the ladies, for the blokes. Now, the ladies can drop down one, no problem at all. But the blokes, sometimes, I certainly do have trouble getting into those higher notes, because I have, as you know, Chris, a naturally butch deep voice, don't I? Huh? Anyway, thank you very much for noticing that. He says, Chris says, what did you get Ronnie for Christmas? Oh, I can't tell you that, dear. It's over there. Can't tell you. No, can't tell you. He says, on a serious note, I hope you and your entire family and friends have a fantastic Christmas, especially Aunt Rita. She's my who the bloody hell is Aunt Rita? Who's Aunt Rita? Is that your Aunt Rita? She's my favourite. Oh, it must be your aunt, especially Aunt Rita. She's my favourite. He's got a favourite Aunt Rita. Thank you, Chris. Hello to Vera. Hello, Vera. She's written in a message this morning, and it was the goat story that Vera's writing in about today, who says, hi, Chris. When you started to talk about the goat, I thought you were going to say how it ended up in a curry. Oh, no, dear. I never thought it was going to be about that. Oh, God. I saw an awful programme once, Vera. I think it was on Channel 4. And they got this group of people to see right the way through from goat to dinner table. And they went to visit the goat when it was walking around, went to the abattoir, saw it get butchered, cooked, and then they sat and ate it. And of course, some people couldn't eat it. I think there'd be a lot more vegetarians if people actually had to go out and do what abattoirs and butchers do. I can't believe many people would be able to do that. I really don't believe that. And Vera says, I never thought it was going to be about that. Yes, the man abusing the goat. Dreadful people, dear. Vera says, you're right about Amazon. They are good, but sometimes I do feel guilty about ordering from them. But if the shops have what I want there and then, I would definitely buy the items in a shop. Well, I mean, I love walking around John Lewis, Vera. I love walking around a department store, but they are so few and far between. I think probably my favourite department store is Selfridges, but I rarely go there, maybe once every couple of years. Very rare. That I love walking around them there. Wonderful place to walk around. She says, you made me laugh at the end about the hymn book donations. Yes, I think you may have left the book at the other church you used to play at. I was wondering that as well, but you know what? I ordered a book. Actually, this morning, I've got a little note from DHL saying we tried to deliver, but you weren't in to be. It's got to be signed for. And what, a hymn book? Who's going to nick a hymn book from my front door? But nevertheless, there was a note from DHL, so I don't know how I'm going to deal with that, because of course today, as in Friday, I've got dentist this afternoon. I've got to leave here at about 12 o'clock in the afternoon to go to the dentist to see if I can get this problem tooth sorted out, which is just awful. I mean, even now it's a slight, oof, that hurts. If I suck cold air onto it, it really hurts. But hopefully the dentist will be able to do something, or at least see what he needs to do about that this afternoon. Thank you very much, Vera. And she says it was a brilliant show as well. Thank you, Vera. And John Paris says, terrible, that goat story, Chris. I wouldn't mind. It was just a kid. Thank you, John. I remember once flying to Spain with my father. Dad thought to save space he'd remove the coffee mate from its container and put small bags in his case. We were there for over a month. Poor old bugger got pulled over and taken to the small room as they thought it was cocaine. Oh, you don't get anything past those boys and girls on the old customs, I tell you. I've seen people stopped there with bags full of blooming... I've never seen anyone when I've gone through... Well, I go for the green ticket... What do you call it? The green barrier. What is it? Nothing to declare. I go through there anyway. But there sometimes, you see, they're waiting there for you. That's where they catch you. And you wouldn't get caught in the red one because that's where you've gone through to declare anything, isn't it? Like that. But I suppose really when I think about that red and green sort of doors on the airports and that sort of stuff, I suppose there would be people going through the red one and say, yeah, I've got these extra cigarettes there, handed them over in the hope that they then don't look in their bags to look for the rest of them. I bet people try that as well. You know what I mean? It's a little bit like, I don't know, sending the tax man a small amount of money in the hope that he leaves you alone because you've sent him something. I bet there's people that do that as well. There's got to be, isn't there? Eh? But these people, they go through that green thing. And those girls and boys on the... What are they called? Not security. Border agency, aren't they? Border agency? Border staff? Customs. There's customs, isn't it? Customs. These people are trained to look at people and tell whether they look like they've got something. I mean, I don't know how you do that. I've never ever been stopped. Never been pulled over and searched or anything like that. But people are, and often they're right, you know, and they open that bag and there's loads of cigarettes. I've seen people with too many cigarettes. I mean, I remember going past one. The entire counter was covered in cigarettes. And this woman was screaming and shouting, oh, I love it. Well, don't bring them in then, dear. You know how many... Well, actually, do you know how many are allowed? Is it 200 cigarettes? It used to be unlimited. Oh, I don't know if that's changed because we're not in Europe anymore. That might have changed now, mightn't it? Well, it used to be... They say unlimited. It used to be an unlimited amount of cigarettes and booze from Europe, I think. Although, you know, there was a limit. I mean, for personal use. If you're taking in 10 million... Well, you wouldn't be able to carry 10 million cigarettes, would you? But I don't know... how many cigarettes could you carry? 20, 40, 60, 80, 100? 5,000? Could you carry 5,000 cigarettes? 10,000? And that's a bit much for one person, isn't it? But you were only allowed to take it in for yourself. You're not allowed to dish your stuff out or resell them. Oh, hello, mate. You know, I've got some cheap cigarettes here. You know, £2 a packet or something like that. Eh? Yeah. Anyway, back to this. Yes, his dad got pulled over and taken to the small room. They thought it was cocaine. It was his coffee mate. How embarrassing. I just continued to the bar and waited for him. He left him there. Oh, you sod. He left his dad there. I just continued to the bar and waited for him. Funny now, but we were frightened the whole time in Spain, thinking we were being watched. Yes, I think I would actually. It would worry me if they pulled me over. I've got to tell you. And I you know, even when I go through the green barrier, the nothing to declare, even when I go through that, I worry that I'm going to be stopped. I haven't got anything. I think, oh, I better look guilty now. I better look. And no, nothing happens. I go straight out the other side. Nothing ever happens. Perhaps actually, how do they tell who looks guilty and who doesn't? Is there like an age thing involved, I wonder, or anything like that? Eh? Oh, I tell you, I did have a little bit of hassle once. Yeah, the first time I took my nephew on holiday, he was 17 at the time, and we were coming back from Florida. Heathrow End. So we decided to try out these automatic barriers. You put your passport on there and a little door opens and that's it. You don't have to see some bloke sitting there. Anyway, Jimmy was trying his. He couldn't get his to work. I can't get it to work. I said, well, you have to go over there. Okay, so he's gone over there and to the man. I said, I'll see you on the other side, and I'll put my thing on and I think I'd already gone through. I put mine on and I was already through. And then so I kind of got to level with where he was. And he was talking to the bloke in the little desk booth thing, right? And I said, all right, Jimmy, I'll be out this side here. Oh, right, okay. And then this bloke looked at me, security staff, and he said, are you with him? I said, yes. What's your name? Chris Reardon. Oh, right. So what relation are you with this boy? I said, it's my nephew. Right, okay. And he's looking at me. He thought I was child trafficking. He did. He's looked at his thing. He said, right, okay. So which side of the family? I said, well, I've only got a sister, so it's my sister's boy. Right. Are they waiting for you outside? I said, yes, they should be right outside the door there. Her and her husband. Right. Okay. Right, off you go then. And we went off. And from that moment, I just knew we were being watched. I knew we were being watched out of like a little camera or something somewhere as we went through the doors. And of course, on the other side, there was my sister and brother-in-law. The best holiday ever. That holiday in Florida with my nephew. It was really great, really great. So yes, I did have a little bit of trouble once, but that was the only time they thought I was child trafficking, didn't they? Oh well. Anyway, that's it for the show today. Have you ever had any trouble at all at the at the customs or anything like that? As a matter of interest, maybe you've been pulled over for no reason, or maybe you had too many cigarettes. Or perhaps we were carrying something even worse than that, dear. Some sort of phaser or a weapon of some sort. Those knuckle dusters, they're illegal, aren't they? And the electric things, bzzz, what are they called? Give you electric shock if you get attacked. Stung tasers. You can buy those in America. Seriously, again, going back to Florida, I remember being in this little supermarket. It was opposite the hotel, and we'd gone over there for some bottles of water. Right? And Jimmy's at the counter, and I came up with him with a little basket of stuff, bits and pieces, water, cans of Coke, crisps, that sort of thing for our rooms. And in this glass counter were all these different things, some of which were tasers. Bleeding tasers they were selling in a supermarket, and you're not allowed to bring anything like that back. Perhaps you have you been pulled over? It's embarrassing, isn't it? It's a bit like when you get an alarm go off because some idiot's left a tag on an item in the supermarket. Don't you hate that? Happened to me in Boots once. Oh, it's just so embarrassing, But what about you? Anything like that happen? Stick a comment there or send us an email. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Thanks for watching the show today. Have a lovely weekend. I'll be hosting karaoke tonight, all right? Karaoke tonight and tomorrow night. And incidentally, gang, I have a load of new karaoke songs that have just been uploaded to my karaoke listing site. You can find that if you want to look at our full songbook, which is always bang up to date. Simply go to this email address, which I haven't got here, this website address, songbookslive.com/karaoke London, all right? songbookslive.com/karaoke London, and there you can look at the entire book or just type in the search engine what you want to look for. And I think there's been added about another 40 or 50 songs today, newer ones like from this year. All right, for people to sing, and I think Little Nas is there. A lot of the ABBA album is on there, not just Don't Shut Me Down. So I don't know if Maureen will be watching this. Maureen, I'm pretty sure Just the Notion's on there, which is the one at the moment. What's the Christmas one? What's the Christmas ABBA song? Hang on, let's just look this up. Christmas ABBA, and I'll see if it's in there, because that's really nice, that one. Happy Christmas on my mind, no. Little Things. Hang on, let's have a look. Songbookslive.com / what did I say? Karaoke London. That's it. Okay, Little Things. Let's see if it's there. Little Things by ABBA. THINGS. Can't even bleed and spell, can I? Idiot. Little Things. Oh, no, that one's not on there. Oh, what a shame. No, that one's not on there. ABBA. Hang on. ABBA. Don't Shut Me Down is there, is it? Yeah, there's Don't Shut Me Down. But not Little Things. Oh, that's a shame. I thought that one might be on there. But Just the Notion's on there. Bumblebee's on there. Lots of the new ones. I Still Have Faith in You, which of course, you know. Lovers Live a Little Longer. I think that's a new one on there. And many, many more. All right, so if you want to have a look at that, songbookslive.com / karaoke London. And I'm hosting karaoke tonight and tomorrow night, Friday and Saturday nights. That's at Central Station in Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. All free entry, boys and girls. You haven't got to pay anything, don't worry. Perish the thought that you'd be parted from any of your money. Thanks for watching and listening. I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.